Hey everyone, and welcome to part two of Money Talks, but Can You Keep Up? In this segment, we're going to be talking about fundraising strategies. So last week we talked about budget and budgeting for nonprofits and social enterprises. This week, like I said, we're going to be talking about fundraising strategies. So we're going to examine various fundraising strategies such as individual donations, corporate sponsorship, grant writing. We just had a whole conversation about this, right? And fundraising events. We're also going to discuss how to identify and approach potential donors and how to develop effective fundraising campaigns that align with your organization's goals, values, and of course your mission, right? So if this is your first time catching us, my name is Tracy D. Allen. I am the owner of Impact Management Group, where I help social impact businesses to design, build, and fund their social ventures so that they can live the lifestyles that they desire while impacting their communities.
While impacting their communities. I like that. My name is Ty Blue, and I'm owner of Ty Blue Enterprises. I work mostly with nonprofit organizations, helping them to move from startup and struggle to sustainability and success. Right?
Yeah.
I can tell you what to do, but if you do what I say, okay.
I say that all the time. I know you're grown. I can't tell you what to do, but if you listen, you might
But
get
if you listen,
right.
we can get you together, right? And
Yeah.
fundraising is, there's the fundraising starts with FUN. So it can be fun, right? It can be
Mhm.
fun if you know how to do this. And I tell people all the time that breaking even is not fundraising, and we just talked about budgets last week, right?
Yeah.
Understanding what that raising goals look like, how much you're wanting to profit from fundraising, how much your expenses are, and being able to cover those expenses first, and then think about what your profit might be. But a lot of times, what I run into, Tracy, is that folk are wanting to raise monies and they don't understand why. They
Yes.
don't understand what it's for. It's one thing not to understand your mission, but if I'm going to give you money, I need to know where my money is going and why, right?
Mhm.
Why is this an important thing? Not just because you woke up this morning and you decided to have a business or an organization, but what does this mean for me? What does your mission mean for me? And that I think that helps with the approach to people or for corporations or whoever you'd like to sponsor you. But a lot of people just don't know that. They're just saying, hey, I need money. And they
Yeah.
make it about them. And it's not about you. It's about, corporations have corporate responsibility. They have their philanthropic goals. They already know what they want to support. Does your mission fit into their philanthropic goal? And doing that research up front to know whether or not you're fit. A lot of people get turned away when they ask for stuff because they're just not a good fit, and no one tries to figure out, am I a fit first, or do I just run and ask people for money all the time? Even
Right.
with fatiguing people when you're doing peer-to-peer stuff and asking for stuff without a real solid direction. I'm just randomly asking, or I'm asking every day or every week. Having a strategy behind that, although, and I know I'm talking about all the bad stuff, right? Like the negative things that people do, like
Mhm.
okay, don't do this, don't do that, but
Well, the negative things are the things that we talk about a lot of times in the consultancy because we have to dispel a lot of myths,
hmm
right? So when you talk about fatiguing your potential donors, and especially in peer-to-peer fundraising. So like I teach a course called 10K Roadmap, and it's a peer-to-peer fundraising model where I teach them how to get $10,000. Actually, you can do it in 30 days, but we stretch it out to 90 days, right? And that is one of the components that I talk about all the time is that you have to be able to clearly articulate why it is that you're doing this fundraiser. What, how does the fundraiser align to your mission? And how is the fundraiser going to impact not only the people that you serve, but how are the people that you're asking to support you what's the ROI for them, right? Why should they want to be aligned with your organization? Because you're, in essence, asking them to become an ambassador for your organization, right? And that means that you have to have a clear script, basically, that they can learn so that they go out there and represent your organization in the best light because they're going to be soliciting their network. They're going to be leveraging their network to help you to raise money. So knowing exactly, and that's what Ty said in the beginning, knowing exactly why you're doing this fundraiser, knowing exactly how this fundraiser is going to impact your organization and therefore impact the community that you're going, your mission, your cause is going to be essential for success of your fundraiser. I'm not going to put my money behind something that someone is not sure or clear on as to what they're doing or how they're going to spend your money, because I don't want to give you money for you to go on vacation, right? So I need to see proof of concept. I need to see that you're actually doing what your organization says it does. So I am going to look at your social media platform. I'm going to go look at your website. I'm going to ask you questions, especially if you're asking for any significant amount of money. People really want to know. You ask for $100 and the person is doing pretty well, they're probably like, okay, fine. But when you're going out and you're asking for those sponsorships, right? Or you're asking a grantor to give you $25,000, $50,000. They want to know certain things about your organization to make sure that their monies are going to what you say it's going to be doing for. And that's where budgeting comes into place, right? They need to see that budget, that breakdown of how you're going to utilize the funds. So the fundraising approach it definitely has to be goal aligned. It has to be mission aligned, and it has to be value aligned. You don't want to go after somebody or an organization that doesn't have the same goals that your organization has.
Right. Yeah, and I think, again, having the research up front, I think that's what people miss, and they, kind of just randomly do things because they heard that so and so donates money or whatever. So I'm going to ask them. They don't care about what you're doing, so they're not going to give you any money because you're not mission aligned with what they're wanting to do. And again, it's not so much about you; it's about them and what they want to have accomplished with their money. And you have to know what that is. What are you accomplishing? How are you solving a problem? How are you creating impact? And that goes with everything. Grants is one way because we're talking about different ways you can raise money, right? So grants would be one of those things I tell people, all the time when you're talking, grants and sponsorship are two different ways to bring in money. The approach is also different because you're doing different things. Grants are mostly about they get a little bit more technical, right? So folk want to know your impact. They want to know your outcome. They want to know you have to describe your program, those kind of things. And I'm saying, a bunch of people don't have those. Like, I don't got a program. Well, why are you trying to get money? Like, what is the money for? Right? Knowing what you're ready for in the way of grants, so you don't waste a lot of time applying for stuff that you are not ready for. Even though grants are not guaranteed, sometimes we just spend too much time chasing grant money that we're not in position for. The same thing with major sponsors. A lot of us are just not in position for major sponsorship. You got to know where you are so that you can know what to focus on.
And to me, a lot of times before you even start looking at those bigger awards, you need to make sure that your program and the services that you're offering are solid, right? That you have worked out all of the kinks, or at least most of the kinks, because nothing is ever perfect, right? So you want to make sure that you've worked out most of the kinks, and that, again, you have that success rate, which is your impact, right? Because it is what we would like to say, impact is the new black,
Impact is
right?
new.
Yeah, impact is the new black.
Impact, but you know what?
And Ty likes to say,
orange can be your
right.
color.
I like to say the pay is in the programs, which is true. So making sure that your program and service offerings are tight, right, is going to be pivotal to your success when it comes to any type of fundraising strategy that you're going to employ in your nonprofit organization or social enterprise.
Yep.
Anything else that you want to add?
That's all I got. Y'all get it together.
That's all she's got. That's all I got too. Of course, if you have any questions, you can always drop them in below, and we will definitely reach out to you. Ty has her own YouTube channel. You want to tell them about your YouTube channel so they can always go there too.
Capacity Central is my YouTube channel. Y'all can follow me on Capacity Central. We have a Be Worth Funding series that's happening right now. So you want to be a part of that, be
Be worthy of funding.
worth
It works right into this today. Yeah, so you have to be worthy of funding. Yeah, so she has a Be Worthy of Funding series where she's actually interviewing people who have gotten millions of dollars, millions. I'm telling you, millions of dollars in grant monies and government contracting.
She just
It is
texted now and
absolutely
said she got
possible.
27 acres of land. The same person?
Oh,
She just,
really?
yeah, she just
Oh, nice. See, so there are people out there doing it. It's absolutely possible, but you got to be able to put in the work and you have to be structured. You have to understand the structure and the dedication that goes behind getting it done. It's not easy work, but it pays off in spades if you do it correctly. All right, until next time, guys, we stay tuned for part 3. We're going to be talking about financial reporting. So until next time, bye.